Hey everyone, David here for Handsome Phantom, and today we are having a look at Dirt 5. This is the follow-up to Codemaster's 2017 entry into the mainline Dirt series, Dirt 4. If you're anything like me, and I know a lot of you out there probably did this, but if you played Dirt Rally 2.0 on PlayStation Plus earlier this year, I'm here to tell you that this is a much different experience. I was really surprised with what I got from Dirt 5. Certainly not in a bad way, but this is a much more arcadey and fun-focused experience rather than simulation and difficulty, which has been the focus of the series somewhat in previous entries. So just get that right out of the way. This isn't about simulation or anything like that. This is about fun. The focus of the game is the career mode, and in this career mode you're going to be progressing through a number of events with varying track types and race types. Some of the different race types you get are like Modern Rally or Cross Raid. For the most part, these are all just really different types of races. Some of them you're doing multiple laps, whereas others you're actually just getting from one end of the course to the other, and the idea is obviously to finish in first place. There are some other events that really change things up. There are Gymkhana type events where basically you're in a smaller kind of arena and you're performing a number of different stunts that get you points. So that can be drifting, doing jumps, smashing through barriers, all that fun kind of stuff. And then the other event that I really liked was the Rock Climber event. What this is like an individual hill climb, but the terrain is absolutely insane. Basically, you're climbing over rocks and there's really steep hills and things like that, and you have to do it as quickly as possible, but it's really easy to kind of go off course or flip your vehicle, so it's a nice little balance between, being really quick and being careful. Every single event that you play through in the career have different sub-objectives. Some of these revolve around drifting, some of them revolve around getting a certain amount of airtime, trading paint with other racers, or keeping the lead for a certain amount of the time. This is a really nice layer of gameplay, but we found that some of the objectives were a little bit either way too easy or they're so obscure that they're just really tough to get. One of the objectives that you'll see come up, you'll actually have to drift while hitting another car. We found this a little bit weird just because you actually, like if you were in the lead, you'd have to get yourself back into the pack, find a spot where you can drift, and then actually hit another car. Like it just wasn't a really natural way to sort of achieve an objective. But anyways, they're there, they're nice, they're fun to play with. As you progress through the career, you'll also gain new sponsors. Now with these sponsors, you gain reputation while racing under them. So as you beat races, you'll actually have different career objectives that each sponsor gives you. Some sponsors offer a different amount of pay per race, while others maybe have a higher ceiling but start off at a lower rate. One of the other new additions to the Dirt franchise with Dirt 5 is a more narrative approach to the career mode. Now, when we first heard this, we were a little concerned just because racing games don't really do narrative and story that well, historically. They can be a little bit cringy, but luckily in Dirt 5, it's a pretty subdued approach. Basically, what happens is there are podcast-style sort of presenters that are narrating your progress through the career mode. And it's actually voiced by Nolan North and Troy Baker, so you get some pretty high-end voice talent. So narrative is there. It's doesn't get in the way, but it's also not a super memorable part of the game. But it's nice that they added that layer to it. Car selection, which is very important for anyone in a racing game, we found it to be a little bit all over the place. It does provide some variety, so you'll go from racing from a standard Golf R to a Porsche SUV, and then you'll get into tractors and dune buggies and all that kind of stuff. So it's a kind of all over the place, but I think it fits the game pretty well. Where the car selection sort of falls off a bit is in the customization. So coming from the Dirt series or even other racing games like Forza or even Forza Horizon, the customization here is really limited to more livery, which is the visual aspects of the car, which is fine, and the livery customization is quite varied, and there's a lot of different things that you can do. But the problem is a lot of the cars come with rally equipment as standard, which just look ridiculous on some of the cars. We had a Lotus Exige that had this massive light kit on it that just made it look like a completely different car, and it would have been nice if we could have removed that kind of stuff, but there doesn't appear to be an option to do that. What Dirt 5 really does well is it shines through its variety in its courses and constantly changing surfaces. As you're driving through all the different courses, There's gravel, sometimes there's mud, sometimes there's snow, tarmac, and you even get ice courses. And there's a lot of different courses where the surface is actually changing as you're driving along. So you might start on gravel, then all of a sudden you're on tarmac for a bit, and then you might even get like snow mixed in with tarmac. And all the different surfaces actually feel really different, and you do have to change your driving style depending on the course type. We really like that you're constantly on your toes with your driving with the different surface types, so that was a really nice touch. The sound in Dirt 5 is absolutely excellent, especially when you're in cockpit view. We just mentioned earlier about the different race surfaces, and you can really hear a difference in the sound, again, especially in cockpit view, as you're driving through different race surfaces. You go from gravel to tarmac, and the sound inside the cockpit completely changes. The soundtrack is also a really standout aspect of Dirt 5, as it has been in other entries in the series. It really complements the grungy and hearted tone of the game. A lot of the tracks are alternative, indie rock, and they have a little bit of rap and hip-hop sprinkled in there, but overall the soundtrack is really, really great, so we love that. Another new addition in Dirt 5 for the franchise is Playgrounds, and this is sort of an evolution of the Your Stage mode in Dirt 4, but the difference here is the focus is on these Gymkhana-style racing arenas rather than a large sprawling course. The Playground mode is really easy to use. It's fun to just sort of mess around with stuff and try different arenas and surface types, but if you're like me and you sort of suck at doing these kind of things and don't want to put a whole lot of time in it, you're lucky because all of the community created courses are uploaded for you to browse and play and rate and all that great stuff. So even if you're not really into that, there is potentially an endless supply of new courses that people are creating, so that's a really good aspect. All in all, Dirt 5 is a quality racing game. It looks great, it sounds great, it's a lot of fun to play, and again, the focus here is fun and frantic action. This definitely is not for people looking for a more challenging racing experience, but it will definitely appeal to a wider audience, especially more so than any other entry in the Dirt series, so we think that's something that people really like. We do wish there was a little bit more customization options in the vehicles, and we would have liked to see a little bit more challenge just in the general racing and career, especially in the side objectives, which again can come off as a little bit obscure. But either way, Dirt 5 is a lot of fun. I think people who are really into it are going to spend a lot of time playing it, whether it be the career, online, split screen co-op, playground mode. There's a lot to do here, so we give Dirt 5 a 7.5 out of 10.